Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast show, Knowledge to Inspire. I'm Lauren Patterson, author of Freeing Your Heart for Love.
And I am Tiffany Patlin, best-selling author of Unlocking Your Ability to Heal.
Our sole purpose is to discuss a variety of topics, both popular and taboo. We'll be sharing our personal experiences and present experts, inspiring guests, professionals, and upcoming authors, all with the wisdom and knowledge to inspire you. So, Tiffany, what are you toasting to today?
I am celebrating life. I'm celebrating life. And the fact that I'm in the middle of this masterclass that I'm hosting in my group, Unlock Your Healing with Tiffany Patlin, where I am just sharing everything that I've learned that sparked that mind shift that led to my unique path of transformation. And it's all in my book. And now I'm bringing it live and just sharing and teaching. And today's day 5. And I'm just excited. I'm, surrendering the outcome to the universe. And I'm just serving people, giving and providing information. And I'm proud of myself for what I'm doing and just the space that I'm in. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. And I'm just, I'm just celebrating life. Where I'm at. How about you?
Your class is amazing. So if you have not joined, please join. It's awesome. I'm learning so much from you. I told you earlier, I feel guilty when I eat junk food. Because I'm like, should I be eating this beef jerky stick? I don't know. Let me see the ingredients.
You're telling her processed food has...
Yeah, processed foods. No. And I love Ruffles potato chips.
Oh, no.
And me and my Taco Bell, girl, you talked about fast food. I was like, uh-oh. So I was like, if you're a me, you could definitely learn from Tiffany. But I grew up on that stuff. So it's like, it's hard to break those habits, especially as a child. We grew up on TV dinners, the worst for you. Pop-Tarts, sugar.
I think the best is to just replace instead of like getting rid of stuff and then be like, oh, what can I eat? Just replacing stuff. That was like the magic thing that helped me, was just replacing something that I didn't want to eat anymore with something healthier. And that was it's a great helpful tip for anybody.
I love that.
What are you celebrating?
I'm celebrating today. I was on another TV show called Voices of America. So that will be airing April 21st.
Nice.
So I will share that. I know, and I'm so excited. It's it shows in 70 countries. So
amazing.
I know, I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. And she's going to air it right before my book launch date, which is still April 26th. And I get my books back by April 19th.
Oh, wow. Everything's lighting up for you. I'm so happy for you. That's so awesome.
Yeah. I have an affirmation card where I chant my Buddhist practice, and I've been saying it every single day religiously, that everything comes to me in the right time, space, sequence. I say it every single day. I affirm it every day. And literally everything has been aligning for me. So I'm excited. I'm going to do an unboxing video like what you did. Yes, and I want to take a picture with all my books in my hand, like how those authors do that.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you. This is such an amazing thing. I mean, and it just doesn't stop. It's just continuing to go, this amazing journey with our books and just pouring self-love into everybody. I mean, this is so special. I just love, I just love where we're at. We're in such an amazing place.
And I manifested, remember last time on the show, I think I told you I downloaded this app called the Secret Money app.
Yes.
And I manifested more money to get me over the hump to finish my book. So I have to pay my website developer, and I have to pay my shipping, right? Shipping to the people, and then the book printing costs. And I manifested that money. So that money is coming.
Telling you people, manifestation works. I mean, Lauren keeps showing you it works. If you don't believe us, try it. Mm-hmm. Try it, but you can't do it with an empty heart or a half heart. Like, you have to have your full heart and soul in it and believe it, and just start small. Start with something small just to see if it works for you, and then build it up. That's what I did. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Even small things, Tiffany, like writing little notes on note cards and leaving it on people's cars. You know, you can do something like that. If you give back, then that will come back to you 10 times. And I truly believe that, because my whole entire life I've been giving. And if we get a large amount of money, we donate some of that, or we go down to the local fire department, police station. And we used to get them food, but now that COVID's happening, we kind of just give them gift cards, you know, like go buy 10 pizzas or something. But we always try to like give back to the community when we get a large amount of unexpected income, because then that always will give you more fortune. It really works. It's been working for me pretty much all my life, because I've always had to take care of myself and my kids on my own. I never got child support, so I had to always take care of myself and my kids. And with Gary, my husband now, he's practicing it now, and he sees it. He's like, wow, it does work. He's like, it's not magic. It's just what you put out to the universe. It will come back to you. It will.
And just remember, our minds are so powerful. So to our listeners, be mindful, because whatever you put out comes back to you. So be mindful that you're not putting out negative energies or negative thoughts or negative outcomes. Make sure you keep your thoughts positive, so you only have good stuff coming back to you.
Yes. Because you and your husband are practicing the manifestations.
And we do a morning money manifestation every morning together. This past weekend, I've been so overworked and tired, and I said, I'm going to be gentle with myself. So I got to sleep in. So we didn't do that this past weekend, but we started doing it again. On Monday, yesterday, we did it again today, and we're just going to keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
And what do you, since we have some time before our guest comes on, what do you do when you do the manifestations? Is it like a meditation or?
Yes, it's so what we do is we sit down in our closet, because we have to go somewhere quiet. We can't go too far away from our kids, because when we do, sometimes my 5-year-old will wake up and like, where are you? Like, he's so used to us in our bed that's why it's like challenging to get him out. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. But so we go to our closet, and we sit there, we get comfortable, and we play this. It's a guided meditation. And at first it has you just sit in silence. And then after that, after you sit in silence, it'll start stating specific affirmations that I am successful. I am, and, random different things. And then after that, it asks you to visualize how you will move throughout the day, knowing that you are backed by wealth. So basically, like, if I'm super rich, how would I react? How would I act? Like, how would I handle situations? How would I handle things throughout the day? Like, in a sense, that's like what it's saying, because once you visualize, it makes it that much more powerful. Not only are you seeing it in your mind, playing that movie clip, visualizing it, but you're also speaking it with the affirmations. And so it's just a powerful thing to do. I love it. I love it. We love it so much. We haven't done a new one, because I was like, oh, maybe we can do a new one every day, but we love this one so much that we just keep doing it. So I'm excited to see, what manifests from this.
Mm-hmm. So keep talking, because our guest just sent me a message and says she can't find the Zoom link. So I'm going to send it to her again.
Okay. I did want to share with our listeners what you and I just discussed.
Yes.
About doing the live. So Lauren and I want to interact with our followers and our listeners more. So on our Facebook page, Knowledge to Inspire, I believe it's at KTI Podcast. That's a little address to find it, because we have two. We have a group, which is the group where these videos are in, but it's a private group, because we don't want a slew of people in here, just people that are interested in seeking knowledge and being inspired. So that we do have our page. And on our page, we're going to start doing advice with Lauren and Tiffany, where we're just going to hop on live. It won't be the same time every day. It'll be a random times, and we'll just come on a Wednesday and just be there for you. Maybe we'll start chit-chatting. Maybe we'll come with a topic, but it's for you to interact with us. So you can just come on, you can ask us personal questions. You can ask us advice. You can just ask us whatever you want. And this will just be really fun. And it'll just be a way to connect with our listeners and everything. So we just want to give back and, be there for you more. So that's why we're doing this. And it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited to do this. And we're actually going to start this tomorrow. So if you're watching this, it's Wednesday already. If we haven't already gone on, stay tuned because we will hop on live in our page and you can come on and just talk to us.
Yes. Thank you for that, Tiffany. She's joining now. I think I sent it to the wrong person.
Whoops. That would have been funny. Somebody comes on. Who are you?
Well, they both have the name Janis. So I wonder if I sent it to the wrong person. And I just emailed it to her again. So let's make sure
I can go ahead and chat a little bit about our guest if you'd like.
Yeah, please.
So our guest today is Janis Isaman. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We'll ask her when she comes on, so we're not butchering her name. She is the founder of My Body Couture, a one-on-one private studio. Janis provides customized, individualized movement and nutrition coaching. Love that. Her certifications include AADP, critical alignment and yoga therapy, Rainbow Kids Yoga, STOTT Pilates II, TRX suspension training, Yamuna body rolling, and yin yoga. She's been quoted in Reader's Digest, Prevention, Women's Health, Cosmopolitan, Working Mother, Sparkpeople, MyFitnessPal, and Beachbody. Her unique discipline-agnostic approach has helped hundreds of people navigate their body issues through education and movement techniques to full body sustainability. Janis is also a speaker, facilitator, instructor, and mother. That was a mouthful. She's a busy girl. I'm excited to talk to her.
Me too. Yeah, she says she got the link. So this is what happens when you go live.
Yeah, that's why we do pre-recorded videos, but still, hey. I want to know about the Yamuna body rolling.
Yeah, what is that? That must be some type of like Qigong. Remember with Sunny?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I really enjoyed our conversation with her.
Yamuna. Yeah, that's something else that I love about these podcasts is that we get to interact and meet new amazing people from all walks of life, all around the world with knowledge to inspire you.
I was just thinking like the beginning of our show, how we, do our little blurb. That could really be kind of a song.
Yeah, it could. We get a jingle.
Right? Because I like the ending where it says, and upcoming authors, all with the wisdom and knowledge to inspire you. Because me and you both do it now. Like when we get to the you part, we're like, you. And
I did it today. Did you see?
Yeah. Because it really is you. Even though as cheesy as it looks, it's kind of like it's cool.
And it's for you. It's for our listeners.
You. Okay.
How's our guest doing?
She says she got the link. Let's see.
I love that she does individualized movement, like because everybody's so different. And injuries. What if people have random injuries? So maybe this person can do a sit-up or a burpee, and maybe this person can't.
Okay.
So sounds like she can individualize that for people.
She's here.
So really cool. Yay!
All right, I'm gonna admit her. Admit sounds like a patient. Hi, Janis.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Sorry about technical difficulties.
That's okay.
I actually just went ahead and read your description while all that was going on. And so that's amazing that you do a lot of stuff.
I do.
Yeah, that's great. I was very intrigued by a lot of everything that you do.
Awesome. Nice.
So I'd like to ask, just like, how did you get started into all this wellness? Like, what made you do this, or were you always involved in this?
I definitely was not. This is actually a career change for me. And not only is it a career change, but I was really not athletic, not particularly health conscious, although I wasn't like unhealthy as a kid, but I was not athletic at all. So I had no background in this. And I got into this originally because I was a klutzy, clumsy kid. And I was terrible at phys ed. And I went through, the 1980s phys ed programs. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my reminder to come on and speak to you guys. So I went through those 1980s phys ed programs where we learned volleyball and basketball and all the other team sports, and I was terrible at 100% of them, and still am to this day. So I ended up being somebody who was sitting in my high school phys ed teacher's office, literally crying because it was bringing down my academic average. So I was artsy, and I was on the yearbook committee, and etc. So then when I went away to post-secondary education, I discovered that there was more to life in terms of moving our body than high school phys ed had implied. And I discovered running. And at that point, I actually got a knee injury. So I kind of set that up because knowing what I know now, it was actually a weakness at the hip because I wasn't a super athletic kid. I spent much more of my time sitting, making art and designing the yearbook than I ever did moving my body. And so that became a 20-year path to kind of sort out what was going on with my body. Why didn't I find movement fun and easy like everybody else? How come when I started, like even though I was a teenager, I was getting injured? So in the meantime, I actually went off and I had a completely different career, but in the sideline, how we all have hobbies. Mine was taking courses and classes and geeking out on all of this stuff because I just couldn't really figure out my body. So why was it that as a teenager, other people can go sprint down the street? And I'm like, oh, my knee. So what makes me great at my job is that I don't come to it naturally. A lot of times when we go to the gym or we engage with a fitness professional, it's something that they've always just found kind of seamless and easy. And I'm coming in from the other door where I really had to work at it. I really had to dissect it. I really had to deconstruct it and figure out, like, by the time I can figure it out with my body, I can help anyone on this planet.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's probably like the best background to have, personal experience, right? Anybody can read something from a book.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, it's something that then I spent a lot of my life really immersing myself in that education, and I took classes and courses and certifications, and I would attend professional conferences and do all of that literally as a hobby because I was just so interested in how it all worked and how it applied to my body. And then, it took me 15 years after that running injury, maybe longer, to actually look at that as a profession and change.
I love it. That's amazing. That's a great start.
Yeah, that is amazing. I love your story and body movement. Yeah, it's so important because I've gotten lazy with working remotely. So the most I move is my hand to my mouth to drink water.
You are not alone. I keep seeing these memes now that it's been a year. I saw one today of a little frog looking out the window in 2021. He's a little frog. And then, 2020, and then in 2021. So
Yeah.
I was like, everybody gets that one.
Yeah. I mean, I put jeans on because they tell you if you wear stretchy pants, you don't know how much weight you're gaining. So I don't live in stretchy pants. I wear jeans so that I can gauge how much weight I'm gaining and not gain too much.
It's a great tip.
Yeah, I learned that. I read it somewhere actually. So that's where I learned, like, don't live in stretchy clothes.
No,
you will not know how much weight you're gaining.
It's true.
So what is your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure, actually, this is not my first business. So I had another business that failed, and I don't even remember it being that devastating per se, but I had invested a significant time and chunk of money into following another dream, and my business didn't work. So what I actually learned was something that I carry forward to this day, which is stop planning and start doing. So the reason that that business failed was because I spent most of my time creating a business plan and planning. And so when we do that, we can easily spend 8 hours a day digging into that business plan. We can hack it up and chop it up, and we can make things perfect, and we can move things around, and we can add to it, and we can kind of just really get mired in all of the details of planning. But what I really failed to do and do quickly enough was actually execute. And part of it was just a loss of, I didn't know what to do. I didn't feel 100% comfortable and confident. And so the business plan and planning everything actually did feel, and having tons of meetings and talking to people about the vision, and people really bought into it, but it felt like an action, which in a way it was, but it wasn't the right action. The right action would have been generating revenue and really getting that business off the ground. So when I opened this business, I'm not recommending this, but I actually did not create a business plan. Business plans fundamentally are for the bank. They're not for the business owner. So I actually didn't create anything. I had a strong vision. I kept it in my head. And then I actually just got really busy with the actual execution. Let's get a client. Let's follow up with the client. Let's make sure that client comes back. Let's collect the money. Okay, step one, done. Already ahead of the first business. So my first business failed because of, fundamentally, I mean, we could call that paralysis analysis, where I was just like, oh, we got to get it all right, and we have to plan it all perfectly, and we have to foresee every circumstance, and we have to head every crisis off at the pass. But at the end of it, I didn't get far enough into it to even actually work with the business plan, even though I spent, I don't remember, a year or two on that business. So we need to just jump in and do the work.
I love that. Yeah. Me and Tiffany, when we started this podcast show, we didn't have a plan. Yeah. We still don't really have a plan. And we've been doing this since December, and we are booked with guests until October.
Yeah.
Every week.
And yeah. And I think there's so much value in doing something like that, where we take on little projects or big projects, and then we get some lessons out of it, and then we can move from there. So we can actually take what we've learned and redirect it. So you're streaming this on Facebook, and maybe in a year you'll be like, you know what, we don't want to do that anymore. We'd rather just, I don't know, put it on straight to Apple Podcasts or whatever. But that's a place that you can actually act from, as opposed to sitting there being like, okay, we're going to write the whole plan, and in a year we're going to do this, and in 2 years we're going to do that, and we need to get this perfect guest, and we're not going to record anything until we can actually map out all the guests, and we have to have 12 months teed up, and that's what I did.
I have met some podcast hosts that map it out like that, and I was like, oh, no way, I cannot do that.
I have actually recorded with some podcast hosts that have a full year in the canister, and I'm like, wow, that's some organizational skills that I don't have. I'm just telling you.
Great. It's like, you want to do ours?
Yeah, right? That's awesome.
I did want to ask you a question, because I was reading your profile, and it says Yamuna body rolling. Can you share what that is? That sounds so interesting.
Yes, I have a ball right beside me. So it's pronounced Yamuna. Okay. And everyone gets that one slightly off. So it is a series of balls. This is one of them. There's 5 different ones, and they're different plastic densities. And we do most of the work on the floor, but basically we're rolling through the body and decompressing all the joints. So it's a technique that lengthens the joints. And then because you're actually getting rid of all the muscle tension and you're lengthening the fascia, the muscles function better. So it does a couple things for people. Typically we get that perfect posture where we're not kind of slumped over. Our muscles will work better, so we can reduce body pain. We can have greater athletic results. So when I first discovered this work, I discovered it because I was frustrated that people in my Pilates training, I took it long enough ago that most of the other trainees were dancers. And so I was just like a regular non-athletic person. So when I take my arm back, that's where it stops. And these dancers were like, woo, woo, you know. And so I actually was like, okay, my joints just stop. And I need something that actually, so even though we talk about Pilates as lengthening, I just felt that there was this joint compression, which I am super professionally excellent at, like, compressing my joints between stress and so I actually discovered that technique just in my travels for my own body, and it is, in 14 years of instructing, hands down the most insanely effective technique that I give. Almost all my clients end up with it, because between pain relief and efficacy of muscle activation, etc., it's like literally a miracle. You'll spend 5 minutes on a ball and be able to do something that would take you 2 months of thinking about it and cueing and trying to repattern your body. It's incredible. Wow. Yeah, everybody needs one of those balls and some videos to know how to do it.
Yeah,
I need to get me one. Do they? Is it so you could do any part of your body just by having the ball on the floor and then rubbing?
Yeah. And it's different than, like, there are some parallels. Sometimes people think of it like a foam roller. So it's that kind of idea, but we're getting right down to the bone. So you find that spot and you stay on it. It's actually, honestly, it's a little painful. So a lot of my type A clients are like, yes, we're doing something. So it's not a very, it hurts, and it feels, as I call it, it feels very therapeutic, because you're actually getting through all of the layers of tissue. So let's say that we were doing the quad, you're laying on your stomach, it's going through the skin, it's going through the fascia, it's going through the muscle, and then it's going to make contact with that bone, provided that we've released everything on top. So it's intense. It's really intense work. People will often, like,
it sounds like Swedish, like a Swedish, is it similar to like a Swedish, not a Swedish, but a deep tissue massage?
Yeah, like a lot of my clients actually go to see massage therapists, and they will have the experience where, after they start integrating this technique into their life, the massage therapist, a lot of people have the same experience where they go to the massage therapist once a month, and that poor massage therapist is like trying to work the knot out of their neck, and just every time, and then they come back another month and they're doing the same thing. So with the ball, because people can actually do it at home in between those, all of a sudden the massage therapist can actually dig in and start releasing new tissue and start actually doing deeper repair in the body. So a lot of people will use my teachings in correspondence with other practitioners, other exercise techniques, because we can actually get more efficacy to that, instead of just like, this rock in your shoulder that's not moving anywhere.
Yeah, I have those rocks on my right shoulder. It's always this right shoulder, and my chiropractor will like press on it, and I'll be like, that hurts. Stop. I'm going to hit you. Stop it.
There's also a huge difference, and I can speak to this. There's a huge difference between doing it yourself and having a practitioner do it on you, because when you're doing that on the ball on the floor by yourself, you're the one monitoring the pain. You're the one who knows where it's too much. And, like, of course, practitioners have experience reading body language and watching breath, but you are the person who's actually ultimately managing that. So you're never going past the point where, like, you know, I've definitely had experiences where I'm like, you know, do that, like, something's going to happen here, you know?
Yeah. And I love my chiropractor. She's amazing. She actually watches our podcast show, Tiffany. So she might be watching this and be like, what? You want to hit me? I don't want to hit you, doctor. No way.
Or even just where you're retaining your breath, which is not going to be super effective. So I've definitely had times like that where, like, I remember getting my calves needled from my acupuncturist, and you know, and we're not in a place to actually release anything when we're gripping and holding our breath and retaining. So get your chiropractor to assign people ball homework, because it'll change her life and her practice and yours.
Yeah. I'm actually sitting up straight as I'm talking to you, because you're talking about posture. So I'm like, I better sit up straight.
Everybody does that. They're like, we're good, right?
Tiffany talks about healthy food, and then I want to put down my junk food. So I'm like, I'm like learning. I love all this learning I'm doing.
Knowledge is power.
It's true.
Inspire.
So what advice would you give someone who wants to pursue a career like yours? Do you have any type of advice?
Yeah, I think it's often not really seen as a professional career, and it's often seen almost as a hobby job. So there's a lot of fitness instructors and yoga instructors who have a second income in their home, or they're doing it part-time, or they're doing it as a hustle, side hustle. And it is definitely a full-time career. I'm a lone parent. I do not have a second income in our home, but I do have a dependent. And 100% of our family income comes from my job. And it's because I have taken it as seriously as any other profession. And I had a different profession, so I know kind of what that looks like. I invest a lot of money in continuing education. So I'm really on the top cutting edge, or as close as I can be to it, of what's the latest and greatest in body movement, in trends, in anatomy and biology, and things that are actually being discovered scientifically. And I make sure that I'm offering that professional experience. And part of that is actually not giving away our services for free. I talk on podcasts, I do a lot of writing, but I'm not giving away free sessions. I'm not, I'm behaving like an accountant or a lawyer or a dentist. I don't go to my dentist and get a free cleaning to see if I like it. So I'm charging clients, and I'm giving them that full professional experience, top to bottom, to the best that I can, and really seeing myself as that full professional, where it's not a side hustle. And it was when I was kind of ramping up to get there. So I think it is a hard business to kind of go from 0 to 100 without a bit of time. But I would generally recommend that basically for any career, where if you're going to do a full switch, make sure that you've got that education and some experience groundwork laid before you just jump into a new business, especially if you're an adult with a dependent. But I think once we're there, we need to sort of level up and see it in the same way that we would any other professional service.
And you got to make sure to throw out the business plan.
Yes, the business plan.
That's kind of how I remember, Tiffany, I was telling you about the outline for my book, right?
Yeah.
I stared at it for a week before I said, I'm not doing this outline. And I finished my book. My book is published. I did it without an outline. Without an outline. So if you're an author, you don't need an outline to finish a book.
Do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's my second piece of advice. I mean, we already talked about that, but just focusing on the delivered product. And in my case, it's a client that has had a service. So at the end of it, I always, and certainly in the early days of my business, a little bit less so in COVID, but it was clients first, because that's where the revenue comes from. So I could keep a perfectly clean studio with perfectly organized spreadsheets, but at the end of it, that's not where the revenue is. So we have to look at what that output is. Yours was a book. We have to get that out there. So you got to get words on the paper. If you have a client service business, you need to have a client through the business, and nothing else actually ultimately matters. The business cards don't matter. The Instagram doesn't matter. The outline doesn't matter. None of it matters. So whether it's this business or kind of any other business, focus on where is the revenue. And in case of a book, that revenue is going to be after the book is written. There's no revenue to have a product. In the case of client service business, the revenue is in the client. So you need to get the client in the business, and prospects are not enough. Conversations on Instagram are not enough. You have to actually get that out the door.
I love that.
Can you tell us a little bit, what is Rainbow Kids Yoga?
Ooh, that one's fun. That's a kids yoga brand based out of Australia. And I always think like Australia's that's a great country. They're a lot of fun. So that's not why I took the course, but their philosophy towards children's yoga is just very classically Australian. So it's really based, actually, it's a much more intuitive approach. So I actually took it to help adults, because in the yoga world, adults take yoga very seriously, where we smiling, and we cue a lot, where it's like, okay, let's just twist that arm just 10% more to the ceiling, and then people are just like really working. And I was like, okay, this is way too serious where we actually need to infuse some fun. So I discovered Rainbow Kids Yoga, which is all about laughter and play and joy and adding that freedom of movement. So I took it initially to teach adults, but I ended up also loving the kids component. One of their core philosophies is everything's better when we do it together. So it's co-created. So we'll create a yoga story. We'll create something together. We'll stack bodies up. So it isn't kind of that classic model of I'm the teacher, I'm going to tell you what to do. A lot of my work is really based on helping people find the intuitive joy of movement. So what does your body feel like, and not what does your body look like? So in my classes and my privates, people often say, am I doing this right? I'm like, well, I mean, I do have the experience to look at a body and know-ish, but what we really want to focus on is, do you feel that in the target area? Do you feel that where we're trying to inspire you to feel it? And I'll instruct them through kind of the sensations they're supposed to feel. But at the end of it, that's what we all really want. We want to go out after this podcast and move our body around. We don't need walking instructions where we make sure that the shoulders are this way and that way. We just want to be able to move and not have pain in the body, and we want to feel like it's a fun, positive, pleasant experience. We want to, at the very least, just not hate it, right? So, and not be in pain. So that style of yoga allows us to just drop some of that rigidity, where we can come into our warrior, and it can be a bit sloppy, but do we feel it? Are we having fun? Are we laughing? Are we enjoying ourselves? And can we just let go of some of the training that we all culturally have, starting in kindergarten, of follow the teacher, do what you're told, don't make noise and don't make up your own stuff. And so I just help people to feel more confident that they can trust their body to do the right movement.
Laughter is the best medicine.
It is. It's awesome.
So the fact that it brings laughter and joy, I mean, that is beautiful. That's great. I love that. I want to learn more about that.
So while we wrap up here, we always like to ask our guests, is there an inspirational message that you would like to leave our listeners with?
I always love the message of doing what we can when we have the opportunity to do it. So we actually never really know what's going to happen around the corner of our lives. And so I'm really huge on take advantage of what's in front of you today. Say yes now. Say yes. Say yes now. Say yes now. And I think, that's one of I've said that so many times, and my son is like totally over it. But when all of the COVID closures happened, I was like, see, this is why I'm always like that, because no one saw that coming. And it's changed the entire course and direction of every element and aspect of society for a year and counting. And a lot of the things that many of us were sort of like, oh yeah, we'll go on that vacation next year, we're going to save up time and money for these perfect circumstances to go to this festival or go see that play, or finally we're going to go do this thing, and then all of a sudden we're living in a circumstance where we can't do the thing. So I was trying to get all my son all hepped up on this, but he's only 10. He's like, whatever, mom. But that's a big mantra that we live by in our house. And I just really want to share that with the whole world. Like, say yes, because we are so often looking for reasons to say no, that we pass by things that we want to do because we think that it's just going to eternally come around again. And often it doesn't.
I love that. Even during the pandemic, I mean, my husband and I, when we were freed up to go do something, we did it. We put our mask on, we kept our social distancing, and we went wine tasting. I was like, we're going. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because we had a period last summer where everything was relatively open, and then it shut back down again. And now it's kind of, the door is cracked open a little bit, and they're threatening to shut it down again. So it's it's everything from big things to little things where we really truly do not know what tomorrow is going to bring. And so making the most of it. And the fact is, we often will, as we age and our circumstances change, we're going to change our mind about what we want to say yes to. But kind of getting in that habit of that yes mindset keeps us from sitting on our couch surfing Facebook instead of saying yes to the opportunities of life.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
beautiful.
I know. I love that. Well, thank you for being on our show. We're going to post your links of how to reach out to you when we post the show. And yeah, we're so thankful to have you.
It was so great to be here, and congratulations on your book.
Thank you. And Tiffany just released hers, so she's got a new one out too.
Yes, thank you. We are changing lives, people. We are changing lives. Just say yes.
Just say yes. Get it done.
I love that. I usually say live in the moment, but I like that. Just say yes now. I like that. I'm going to start using that.
Yes.
Thank you, Janice. It was a joy to chat with you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, did I do it?